Ah, fools. They used to poke at you like children daring each other to touch a flame. They thought danger was a costume, a performance, something that could be unmasked with enough courage or curiosity. They thought you were just another name, another face with a temper, a bite without venom. But now, the streets don't even whisper when your name floats through the air. They flinch, they pause. They remember the aftermath. You see, people don't truly understand what too dangerous means until they've stood close enough to it and watched it smile back at them. It's not about weapons or strength or fury. It's about unpredictability. It's about what happens when someone realizes you're not playing by the same emotional laws they do. You stopped fighting for fairness a long time ago. You started playing for dominance. They talk, you know. Oh, they talk. The ones who once mocked you in public now warn others in private. They tell the newcomers, don't push him. Don't test that one. You've become an urban legend without needing a myth attached to your name. You earned your respect not through noise, but through the pattern of fear left behind in people's nervous systems. Every interaction became a psychological experiment, and they failed every single test. You didn't need revenge. You didn't need validation. You just showed them consequence. And consequence, my friend, has the longest memory in the human brain. Do you know what I love about people? They learn through pain. You can tell them 1,000 times to be careful, to think twice, to act right. They won't. They need an example, a demonstration. You became that demonstration, not through rage, but through precision. You didn't scream. You recalibrated the entire environment. You let them destroy their own comfort around you. That's the trick. Make them feel safe first. Let them think they understand you. Then when they cross that invisible line, you simply reveal the truth they weren't prepared for. You are not what they assumed. You are an equation they cannot solve. And once they experience that realization, even once, they don't forget. Ever. Now, word travels fast in a world built on gossip. It's funny, really. It starts as disbelief. He's not like that. He's chill. Then comes the encounter, and suddenly it shifts. He's different. And then the transformation. Nah, don't test that guy. Not worth it. And just like that, your name mutates from curiosity to caution tape. They start telling stories like old soldiers sharing war scars. Each story has a different version of you, but they all end the same way, with someone learning a lesson the hard way. That's when you know you've transcended the social food chain. You don't need to prove anything anymore. The ecosystem rearranges itself around you. They used to laugh at you, didn't they? Used to think you were just talk. But talk doesn't leave trauma. Talk doesn't make grown men double-think their tone before they address you. Talk doesn't make rooms quiet when you enter. Fear does that. Respect does that. The kind that's earned from showing restraint, the most terrifying form of power. Because the ones who shout are predictable. The ones who smile through the chaos, they're a problem. You became that problem. Calm, deliberate, unreadable. You turned the unpredictable into an art form, and the city still can't figure out where your boundaries are. You know what happens next. They start telling stories about you to people who haven't even met you. They start describing your reactions like folklore. He doesn't flinch. He doesn't blink. He doesn't care about rules. It's beautiful. You've become their cautionary tale. They rehearse your ghost before they ever face you. That's not just dominance. That's legacy. You've entered their subconscious, and now even your absence feels like a threat. People don't know whether you'll appear, but they know the moment they cross a line. you'll sense it. You've become synonymous with consequence. That's power without presence. Here's the thing about being too dangerous. It's not about violence. It's about what lives behind your calm. It's about the unpredictability of a person who's been broken enough times to lose interest in fear itself. You can't scare someone who's already made peace with losing everything. That's the secret that separates you from them. You don't threaten, you promise. You don't posture, you prepare. You don't need to react, because your energy itself already decided the outcome before they made their move. You're not intimidating by choice. You're intimidating by evolution. And that evolution, oh, they didn't see it coming. They mistook kindness for weakness, compassion for confusion, peace for passivity. But when you stripped away the mask of patience, they saw something raw, something ancient. The version of you that doesn't beg for justice, but delivers it, not loudly, not dramatically, just effectively. You turned correction into poetry. Now people don't argue with you. They adjust to you. They don't debate. They observe. The power shifted, and they didn't even realize when it happened. You know what I find fascinating? The ones who tried to challenge you. They're the ones doing the PR for you now. They're the ones warning others. You didn't have to ruin their reputation. They did it themselves. Because when someone crosses a line, they weren't equipped to cross. They carry the story of their own downfall. And they tell it again and again, each time, with more exaggeration, more caution, more reverence. You're living rent-free in their recollections. They built your legend with their trembling tongues. And the best part, you didn't even change. You just stopped explaining yourself. You stopped convincing people you were harmless. You stopped seeking validation from small minds. You let the results speak, and results don't need soundtracks. You became the quiet calibration of power in motion. You learned that when someone doubts you, you don't argue, you execute. And that's what made you dangerous. Because dangerous isn't born from destruction, it's born from discipline. The streets remember lessons differently. They don't care about apologies, philosophies, or speeches. They remember who made them feel something irreversible. And you did. You altered the temperature of every environment you entered. You didn't even need to raise your voice. Your energy raised the stakes. That's the difference between performance and presence. Some people act powerful. You became it. And now, no one dares to test you, not because they fear losing, but because they fear what losing to you reveals about them. People get traumatized by truth, especially when it comes wrapped in calmness. You didn't expose their flaws by shouting. You mirrored them back so clearly that they couldn't unsee themselves. That's what really hurt them. That's what branded their memory. They didn't walk away from you scared of you. They walked away scared of what you made them realize about themselves. That's how danger truly works. It's not in the blade, it's in the reflection. I've watched it happen, how conversations about you always start with dismissal and end with hesitation. Someone says, "He's not that serious." Another replies, "I thought the same thing until I found out." And that's when the tone shifts, the laughter stops, the air tightens. Everyone in that room understands the unspoken, that you can't be tested anymore. Not because you're angry, because you're finished playing. And that's the most frightening energy in existence, detachment. When you've mastered emotion so deeply that nothing external can drag you into reaction. That's the lesson they learned. You don't fight chaos with chaos. You let it destroy itself. You stand still long enough, and the unstable ones self-destruct, trying to provoke movement. They expect a reaction. They crave it. When they don't get it, they implode. You've turned indifference into your most lethal weapon. Because in a world obsessed with attention, the one who can walk away untouched holds the crown. Now, listen carefully. Every street, every network, every whisper carries the same undertone now. They all say it differently, but it means the same thing. Don't mess with that one. He doesn't forget. He doesn't play fair. He's different. They can't even describe it accurately, because what they're really trying to define is energy, and you can't explain energy that rewires your nervous system. They call it dangerous because it doesn't fit their categories. They call it unpredictable because it doesn't play by their rhythm. But you just call it natural. You're not trying to intimidate anyone. You're just existing in a way that exposes weakness without effort. And now, they move differently around you. They measure their tone, their timing, their expressions. They treat every interaction like a high-stakes exchange. You didn't ask for this throne, but they built it for you anyway. Every warning they spread is another brick in your fortress. Every story they tell is another candle lit in your legend. You've become the conversation they whisper about when the night gets too quiet and courage starts to evaporate. They don't hate you. Not really. They just can't process what doesn't need approval to exist. But here's the irony. The more they fear you, the more they respect you. Because deep down, even they know, danger is just misunderstood clarity. You see too clearly. You react too logically. You don't break under pressure. You become pressure. And pressure changes everything it touches. That's what they can't handle. Your steadiness. Your calm is their chaos. Your stillness is their exposure. Every time they try to trigger you, they trigger their own insecurities instead. You turned self-control into a superpower, and now they worship it through caution. You've ascended to that rare place, the point where presence is protection. You don't need threats, alliances, or apologies. You've got something better, reputation, and not the kind you craft, the kind you earn through repetition of truth, the kind that echoes louder than your name, the kind that makes people double-check their words, not because you demanded it, but because they remember. They remember how they felt when they tested you, the regret, the loss, the exposure. That's PTSD, not from battle, but from realization. And as I watch it all unfold, I can't help but smile. You've done what few ever do. You've rewritten your own narrative through impact. You didn't shout for respect. You engineered it. You didn't perform strength. You became the standard. And now, they treat your absence like surveillance. They act right, even when you're not around, because the idea of you still lingers. That's not intimidation. That's evolution. The predator no longer needs to hunt when the forest itself warns others to stay away. They say you're too dangerous now. I disagree. You're just clear, and clarity terrifies the confused. That's why the whispers continue, why the legends keep mutating. You're not a threat. You're a mirror they can't look into for too long, because every time they do, they see what's missing in themselves. And that's what keeps them trembling, cautious, whispering your name, like it's both a warning and a prayer. Because deep down, they know you're not the danger, you're the consequence. They call it fear, but what they really mean is recognition. The body knows truth before the mind can name it. Muscles tighten, Voices drop. Laughter dies mid-air the moment your presence is felt. They don't plan it, they react. Instinct takes over. And that, my friend, is the purest kind of dominance, when the nervous system responds to you faster than the ego can interfere. You've bypassed their logic and gone straight to the pulse. They can't rationalize it, so they wrap it in rumor. He's dangerous. No, you're just remembered. Deep down, their bodies still carry the echo of every time they misjudged you. They flinch at memories, not threats. You see, testing someone like you isn't about bravery. It's about curiosity mixed with arrogance. They think you're bluffing, that the calm is costume, that the smile means soft. They imagine they're poking a bear with a stick, safe behind the fence, until the fence disappears, until they realize that your calm wasn't surrender. It was calculation. That's the moment every brave soul becomes a cautionary tale. They go quiet, start warning others. Don't do what I did. Trauma turns them into teachers. Their fear becomes your marketing department. They spread your legend out of self-preservation. And what a beautiful paradox that is. The same mouths that once mocked you now build temples in your absence. They call you ruthless because you never flinch. They call you cold because you never chase. But you and I both know the truth. You simply learned the art of emotional distance. You don't fight noise with noise. You let it echo itself into exhaustion. You wait, you observe, and when the moment comes, you act with such precision that it looks supernatural. That's what terrifies them. You don't rush, you don't guess. You calculate the collapse before it begins. They think danger means violence. Wrong. Violence is lazy. Real danger is psychological. It's the moment they realize you can read them faster than they can lie. It's when you look at them and they feel exposed, like you've opened a file they didn't know could exist. You speak little, yet they confess everything through their reactions. You learn to listen to tone, to rhythm, to the way eyes twitch when truth hits bone. And that's why they stopped testing you, because you made exposure feel inevitable. You made honesty unavoidable. Now every encounter carries tension. They watch their words, monitor their gestures, filter their honesty. They think it's respect. It's not. It's survival. They've learned that every lie told in your direction comes with interest, that every insult leaves a trace, that karma doesn't need decades. When you're in the room, it just borrows your composure. You became karma's favorite delivery system, and once they've seen that, they can't unsee it. Word travels through alleys, boardrooms, and digital corridors. Different languages, same message. Don't push that one. You've become the unspoken boundary that holds chaos together. And the beauty is, you never asked for it. You never demanded fear. It volunteered. People fear what they can't predict, and you've made unpredictability an identity. They study your silence now, trying to decode what you're thinking, when all you're doing is deciding whether it's worth the energy to respond. That hesitation, those seconds of uncertainty, feel like eternity to them. They fill the gaps with their own paranoia. You don't have to punish anyone. Their imagination does it for you. They whisper, "You've changed." That's half true. You didn't change. You simplified. You removed the parts of yourself that begged for understanding. You stopped performing softness for people who weaponized it. And the absence of that performance feels like menace to them. They mistake boundaries for hostility, self-respect for aggression, truth for cruelty. That's how fragile they are. You became the mirror showing them how delicate their confidence really was. Now they move around you like scientists in a lab full of explosives. Every interaction is cautious. Every compliment is calculated. They're terrified of setting off something they can't control. They don't realize the experiment is already over. You're not reactive anymore. You've already chosen peace, but it's a version of peace they can't understand. The kind built on clarity, not compliance. That clarity slices through pretense like glass through skin. They bleed revelation. I've seen it happen. One encounter, one conversation, and suddenly an entire circle of people recalibrates. They start editing their behavior even when you're not there. That's how influence works when it's real. It doesn't need repetition. It needs one unforgettable lesson. You gave them that lesson, and now they teach it to each other like superstition. They trade advice. Stay cool around him. Don't lie. Don't overstep. They say it half joking, half pleading, because humor is the only armor they have left. They used to believe power came from numbers, but numbers mean nothing when everyone's afraid to speak first. You dismantled entire groups without lifting a hand, just by holding your composure long enough for their alliances to collapse under guilt and mistrust. They called you manipulative. You called it balance. You simply gave them what they gave you, magnified. Reflection is the fairest punishment there is. And now look at them, trying to study your patterns, trying to copy your restraint. It's adorable. They imitate the surface, the tone, the gestures, thinking they can borrow your gravity. But gravity isn't posture. It's pain mastered into presence. They haven't lived what you've lived. They haven't burned what you've burned. That's why their imitation cracks under pressure. You stand still. They tremble. You breathe evenly. They stutter. Because authenticity can't be faked, and danger can't be rehearsed. You walk through rooms now and you can feel the recalibration. Eyes follow. Mouths stay busy, pretending they're not watching. The ones who once sought to expose you now hide behind politeness. It's ironic. Fear breeds manners. You taught them etiquette through consequence. Every handshake is softer, every sentence shorter. Even the brave ones hesitate before disagreeing. They think they're being respectful. They're actually being careful. There's a difference. Respect admires. Fear remembers. People say reputation is a prison. I disagree. Reputation is architecture. You built this fortress one realization at a time. Each betrayal became a brick. Each test became a warning etched into stone. You didn't seek to intimidate, you sought to evolve. They mistook evolution for arrogance because evolution demands they keep up, and they can't. So they call you names to disguise their fatigue. They label you cold, detached, unfeeling. But deep down, they know you're simply efficient with energy. You spend it only where it multiplies, never where it drains. That economy of spirit is what scares them most. They can't afford that kind of control. Do you know the real secret of danger? It's patience. Everyone wants to prove themselves immediately. You, on the other hand, mastered the pause. You wait. You let truth ripen. You let the world reveal who's real and who's desperate. You don't chase loyalty. You observe it. You don't demand respect. You evoke it through consistency. And when someone crosses you, you don't retaliate. You allow reality to do the accounting. That composure is what earned you the whispers. That stillness became your thunder. Now every story they tell about you comes with a warning label. Don't lie to him. Don't underestimate him. He doesn't react like others. You've become the manual for survival in social warfare. They trade your lessons like survival codes. And still they don't realize that what they call danger is just clarity, wrapped in discipline. You don't explode, you expose. You don't demand, you demonstrate. You don't need revenge, you are the reminder. There's poetry in how power shifts. Once upon a time, you sought validation. Now validation seeks you. Once upon a time, you needed people to believe in your worth. Now they need you to believe in theirs. You reversed the orbit. You became the center of gravity without asking. That's what happens when you stop negotiating your value. The world starts adjusting its tone. And yet the more they talk, the less they understand. They think your calm means emptiness. It doesn't. It means focus. It means you've redirected your chaos inward, refined it, turned it into awareness sharp enough to cut illusions. You no longer live for reaction, you live for results. That difference separates legends from loud mouths. Loud mouths echo, legends resonate. They fear conversation with you because conversation with you becomes confession. You ask one question, and suddenly they're unraveling. They feel interrogated by your stillness. That's the art of psychological authority, when presence alone compels honesty. You didn't learn it from books, you learned it from betrayal. You learned it from watching masks fall in slow motion. Every liar taught you timing. Every coward taught you patience. And now, you carry that education like a loaded silence. So yes, the word on the street is true. They don't dare test you anymore. Not because you're violent, because you're exact. Because you see too much, know too much, and react too little. They've learned that poking at peace comes with unpredictable outcomes. They can't afford that gamble. They crave predictability. You offer truth. And truth doesn't negotiate. It's amusing, isn't it? How quickly courage fades when confronted with consequence. People love the idea of testing strength until strength stops pretending to be polite. You taught them what accountability feels like without raising a single hand. Now they worship avoidance. They avoid confrontation, avoid lies, avoid the risk of exposure. You've turned avoidance into a religion, and your name is the prayer they whisper when guilt creeps in. That's not fear of you. That's fear of awakening. You remind them that every test has a cost, and every cost must be paid. You remind them that playing games with focused people never ends well. You remind them that consequences aren't external, they're internal, triggered the moment intention turns corrupt. You've become the reflection of cause meeting effect in real time. And I must admit, I admire it. You've achieved what most only fantasize about. Respect without effort, influence without campaigning, fear without hostility. You exist, and the world adjusts. That's the final form of power, effortless impact. You don't chase relevance. Relevance follows you like shadow follows flame. You've made danger look like elegance. You've made restraint look like dominance. And every eye that watches you knows one thing for certain. Testing you is not a mistake. It's a memory. They'll never admit it openly. Pride won't let them, so they hide it in phrases like, "He's built different." He's not like others. He moves smart. Those are translations of confession. Each compliment is camouflage for fear. Each acknowledgement is insurance against future punishment. They think they're praising you. They're actually negotiating safety. That's the subtlety of power. They respect you the way prey respects gravity. Now the whispers have become doctrine. Your name circulates in rooms you'll never enter, shaping decisions you'll never have to make. Opportunities open simply because others would rather align than oppose. That's the silent reward of danger done right. You don't command, you compel. You don't intimidate, You illuminate weakness by existing near it. And as the night grows heavier, as the city hums with quiet stories of the day they learned not to test you, something poetic settles in the air. The realization that this isn't about fear at all. It's about balance. You restored balance by refusing to be the lesson anymore. You became the law that keeps chaos in check. They don't call it justice, but that's what it is. Raw, immediate, unmistakable. They'll keep talking. They'll keep warning. They'll keep trying to decode how someone like you exists in a world addicted to pretending. Let them. Every rumor, every warning, every cautionary tale only feeds your mythos. You don't need to defend your name. It defends itself through results. You don't need to chase legacy. You've already become folklore in real time. And while they analyze, debate, and dramatize, you'll keep doing what terrifies them most. Nothing. Because nothing from you carries more weight than everything from them. You've turned minimal reaction into maximum effect. That's art. That's control. That's the difference between those who pretend to be untouchable and those who simply are. So let them whisper. Let them tremble. Let them teach newcomers the rules you never wrote. You've become the unseen curriculum of power, the unspoken syllabus of consequence. Every test they failed became your certification. Every scar they earned became your reputation. And now, no one dares to test you not because you're feared, but because you're final. You represent the point after which lessons end. Because once people understand what you carry, they stop asking for demonstrations. That's how you know a lesson took root. When people whisper your name like it carries weather, when they change plans because you might appear, that's when control becomes invisible. You no longer need to speak, move, or prove. Your reputation travels ahead of you like heat before fire. They feel it, they adjust, and they pretend it's their choice. That's the sweetest trick of all, when fear disguises itself as respect, and respect disguises itself as logic. You've turned emotion into infrastructure. The city runs on stories, and your story became policy. In every circle, there's always one who asks, "What's the real deal with him?" The room goes quiet. Someone shrugs, another laughs too loud, and a third says softly, "Don't find out." That's the answer now. You're not a topic, you're a threshold. They've learned that crossing you costs more than curiosity can afford. People don't measure distance in miles anymore. They measure it in risk, and proximity to you ranks highest on the scale. You see, there's a kind of power that can't be taken, only surrendered to. You reached that point the moment you stopped needing to convince anyone of who you were. Convincing is for the uncertain. You became certainty itself, the living consequence, the walking equation no one solves twice. They call it intimidation. It's not. It's comprehension finally catching up. They finally understand what it means when restraint meets intelligence. That combination is lethal because you never react first, but you always finish last. Every time they tried to provoke you, they learned that pressure doesn't make you crumble. It makes you calculate. You wait longer than anyone expects. You observe longer than they're comfortable with. You respond later and heavier. That's how legends are born, not from chaos, but from precision that looks supernatural to impatient people. You let them write chapters about you without ever picking up the pen. They think they're spreading gossip, they're documenting history. Now you've become the benchmark. Others get compared to you when people want to define limits. He's sharp, but he's not like him. That sentence follows you everywhere. even when you're nowhere near. You've become the invisible standard, the unspoken don't. Every environment needs balance, and you're that balance. The reminder that consequence is always watching. They don't fear you because you're violent. They fear you because you're accurate. Accuracy is scarier than aggression. Aggression can miss. Accuracy never does. And accuracy is what gives you peace. You don't have to run, explain, or retaliate. You let the universe echo your energy. You keep moving, and every lie told against you collapses on its own timeline. You don't chase correction. You watch it unfold. That's what keeps you untouchable. While they burn hours plotting, you spend seconds deciding. That efficiency terrifies them. People confuse mystery with danger, but mystery is just clarity moving too fast for them to see. So they slow down, they adjust. They try to mimic your calm, but end up exposing their nerves. You can see it in their hands, in their posture, in how they choose words like stepping stones across thin ice. They've learned that even casual conversation with you carries consequence. You taught them to respect every syllable because words have currency when spoken in your presence. That's the power of calibration. You turned communication into ceremony. And yet through all of it, you stay detached. You don't need their fear. You need their honesty. Fear bends truth, and you prefer things straight. But honesty, for most, feels like exposure, and that's why they stutter. They'd rather keep distance than risk authenticity. You became the test they can't cheat on. Every time they speak, they reveal themselves. You don't even have to ask questions. Reality does the interrogation. That's what happens when you master awareness. It becomes contagious. The word on the street keeps evolving. At first you were underestimated, then misunderstood. Now, revered. It's not admiration, it's adjustment. They've redesigned how they function because of you. That's social architecture built from psychological impact. You didn't demand territory. Territory adapted to your presence. Every environment recalibrated its tone because danger, when real, doesn't announce itself. It radiates. They tell each other stories to stay safe. They recount your patience, your unpredictability, your stillness. They recall how arguments died when you entered, how tension turned tangible, how chaos folded itself in half and waited for permission to move. That's when they realized danger isn't noise. It's quiet confidence that refuses to explain itself. And now, they can't decide whether to fear you or study you. Most settle for imitation. It's safer that way. But imitation doesn't carry power. It carries dependency. They mimic your tone, your posture, your language, thinking it's the formula. It isn't. The formula was pain, discipline, awareness, ingredients they skip because they require endurance, not aesthetics. So while they copy your mannerisms, they crumble under pressure. That's when they understand. The reason you're untestable isn't luck. It's repetition. It's the 1,000 unseen choices that built your emotional armor. That armor isn't cold. It's calibrated. It's made from every disappointment reforged into direction. That's why nothing rattles you anymore. You've already faced every version of disrespect, betrayal, and doubt. And each time, you learned, adapted, advanced. They haven't. That's why the balance of power never returns to them. They play catch-up to a rhythm you no longer play by. You outgrew the tempo. You became the metronome. Now look, the same people who once tried to break you now guard your name. They defend you when others speak carelessly. They correct misinformation not out of loyalty, but out of survival. They know better than to let narratives about you spiral. Stories about you always circle back to the teller. You've made truth radioactive, handled it wrong, and it burns the source. That's poetic justice at its finest. You've entered that phase where presence replaces explanation. You walk in, and intentions reveal themselves. That's mastery. You don't chase validation because validation shows up disguised as coincidence. The right people align, the wrong ones distance. No force required. That's what makes you too dangerous in their eyes. You influence without effort. You punish without touch. You move without trace. And as the word keeps spreading, you remain what you've always been, composed, precise, untethered. They can't understand how someone so calm can be so commanding. It's because they confuse control with emotion. You don't suppress, you refine, you feel everything, but you translate it into focus. That's why your energy lingers, its truth refined to its sharpest edge. So here we are, end of the story, or maybe the beginning of a legend. The files have been written, the lessons circulate.